Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. You saw the title. You know why we're here. We're talking about Ori the Collection from the Nintendo Switch. A while back, one of our regular viewers and sometimes commenters, our good friend Pocket, commented that it was video game season and that he had recently played through the first title. This is a two-title like pack. The collection is. He played the first one. And in his words, he said, highly, highly recommended, a masterpiece. He says he was severely scorned by Metroid Dread, went all the way to the final boss, who killed me 10 times in a row with no chance of me finding any weaknesses, and so I took a swearing fit and rage quit out of principle. Terrible entry, only the neurodivergent would enjoy an exercise in humility like that. So when somebody who writes a comment like that suggests a game like this, I got excited. This has been on my wish list for a long time, but it stayed on my wish list because it's a platformer. And like Pocket, I don't enjoy just relentlessly beating my head against something. And I feel like modern platformers are definitely that. They're just tests of your humility. And I don't know if this is definitely something that's happened either because I have aged or because platformers have gotten progressively more difficult or more twitchy or whatever. I enjoyed platformers a lot in my younger years. I think maybe I can definitely identify that my ego is a little shallower, so just taking constant hits, I don't want to do it. Like there's 1,000 other things I could be doing with my time. I don't want to sit and feel stupid for an hour trying to play a video game. When I want to play a video game, I want to just enjoy my time. And so it's set on my wish list for a long time. I bought it, I played both of these titles, and I can tell you that Ori and the Blind Forest, that's the first game, I hated it. I really didn't enjoy it at all. I finished it, I played all the way through it, but like he just said about Metroid, I felt the same way about this game. I played it on easy mode, and I just felt like it was constantly just bashing me over the head and making me feel dumb. And there was too many moments of just instant death for, like, I guess I didn't time that to the nanosecond. Oh well. And I just didn't get it. The story was interesting and that kept me engaged, and I think that I finished it out of spite than anything. And I honestly finished it thinking that I was not going to play the second game. The second game is called Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I did end up playing the second game. But Ori and the Blind Forest, did not like. I pretty much would play it. I would die 5 times in a row and I would shut it off. I went looking to see, like, you know, people say, oh yeah, it's pretty hard. I died a couple hundred times. I died over 700 times trying to play Ori and the Blind Forest. Yeah, it tells you. It was 750 sometimes I died. It was just brutal. It was brutal and I did not enjoy the experience. It would be a game my wife loves watching me play games. I would turn it on. I would play for like 10 minutes. I would just turn it off. And I did that for a week. Like, it took me a while to finish. That being said, I think it was a good platformer. I mean, it has good progression. You get power-ups by visiting these spirit trees. They give you new things that you can do, jump off walls, all that kind of stuff, shoot up in the air, yada, yada, yada. Mild combat, not a whole lot of emphasis on combat. You're probably better off dodging and trying to get past things without fighting, because fighting generally ends up, you know, putting you in a bad position health-wise, and you're going to bounce off of environmental things that are going to hurt you constantly, so having health is kind of important. It has a pretty basic little skill tree if you want to kind of level some things, and you, like I said, you gain new abilities as you visit areas of the game. Pretty basic. Didn't enjoy it. I can understand why others would. That being said, Ori and the Will of the Wisps was phenomenal. I mean, it was a very good game. I almost considered 100%ing it because I just really enjoyed my time with that game. Again, I played it on easy mode. And easy mode just gives you a little bit more health and makes things... Like, you still have to time all your jumps and stuff perfectly, or you won't make... You know, you can't make it to the next area. But you're not going to be relentlessly punished. I died a heck of a lot, but I didn't feel relentlessly punished for making simple timing mistakes in this game. I think part of it is you start off with a couple of skills, you get skills pretty quickly, and you can kind of tune. So in Ori and the Will of the Wisps, there's a lot more combat Combat is a more necessary part of the game. You have kind of a sword in that game, and you have some combat abilities that are kind of fun, like throwing spears and stuff. You still have visit trees, learn abilities, but you also have, I don't remember what they're called. Instead of like a skill tree where you level up these three areas of your character, you get these spirit shards, I think they're called, and you can only ever equip three at a time. And those give you either abilities or they give you like extra health or whatever. I basically didn't change them. Once I got what I wanted, which was the magnet, the thing that lets you like absorb power ups from across the screen. I got the sticky thing that lets you stick to walls. You don't have to constantly try to stay on the wall. And near the end of the game, I got the like you could shoot yourself in a direction. I never changed those things. I never leveled them. I didn't buy all of them because I didn't see the point. They're all like just I guess fit your play style. If you're more of a direct combat person versus a lobbing a grenade person, whatever. Um, but I very much enjoyed Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I felt like the levels were more puzzly instead of just punishing platforming. Like the first game, I don't think there was any puzzles in the first game, or the levels didn't feel puzzly. They just felt very punishing. You had to time jumps perfectly. You had to time wall hops perfectly. You had to time combat perfectly in order to get to the end and get the little key to go back and open a door. In this game, yeah, there was some of that for sure. It's still a platformer, but the levels were more puzzly. You had to kind of puzzle out which path to take to get to where you need to go. I felt more engaged that way. There were some other aspects of the game that were just kind of add-on ancillary. It didn't feel like they really impacted the game much. There's this collecting resource that you can use to kind of level up a little village that doesn't do anything for you. It's just it feels nice to do it. And there were some areas I don't even think I fully explored. Like I said, I almost considered going back. But I will say, in Will of the Wisps, I had many experiences, like Pocket was suggesting, in the first game, where I would die like 10 times with no hint at what it was I was supposed to be doing. In Will of the Wisps, I would die like 3 times, and then I'd be like, I got it. And then I would usually do okay. Or I would die 4 times, I'd shut it off, do something, whatever, come back an hour later, turn it on, and I would succeed the first try. Like, I knew what I needed to do, I just needed to take a break, come back and do it. And so it felt good. It felt really good to play that second game. And in fact, I don't know that I would say play the second game only. Like, if you're enjoying a more casual kind of, I don't want to say old school, but a more familiar platformer style where you're not necessarily constantly rushing to survive. Like, Will of the Wisps is the better game in my opinion. But I'm glad I tried them. I'm glad I tried both of them. I'm very glad I bought it. I didn't connect with the first game very much at all. Again, I think it's a little bit of an ego thing. I think it's just like I'm not willing to take those hits to my ego. I don't have that much time on the planet. Like, I'm just not willing to put forth that kind of effort. I had something else that I was thinking of the entire time I was talking about this, and I completely forgot what it was. Oh, the story. There's some. I guess the second game is it is the second game. But there's something that happens at the end of the second game that makes me question whether it's a prequel or not. I don't think it is. It definitely is not a prequel. But it feels like it is because by the end of the game, you're like, anyway, I don't know how to explain that without giving spoilers. I don't know that there's necessarily a lot of spoilers, but I felt like the stories in both games were pretty good. As far as they can be for a platformer where you really have no agency, the story was engaging and fun and interesting in both games. Yeah. I don't know that I have anything else to say. Glad I played them. Can kind of suggest half of this disc. I don't know. If you like platformers, go for it. I mean, they're good platformers. I think the last one, I think Shovel Knight has been my most recent favorite platformer, and everything I've tried since then has just been like, man, I don't have the patience for this. I don't want to do this. I would rather just play, a farming sim or something where I can just kind of chill and enjoy my time in a game. All right, that's all I got to say. Have you played them? Do you have any comments, thoughts? Do you want to play them? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 12 stressful things to stop tolerating. Number 4 is unhealthy relationships. Be with people who know your worth. You don't need lots of friends to be happy, just a few real ones who appreciate you for who you are. Often we walk away not because we want others to realize our worth, but because we finally realize our own. This is an important thing. I would suggest finding friends who are willing to tell you when you're wrong, because those are real friends, and you should cherish that.